everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pearl Shannon and welcome to Is This Therapy? So, just a forewarning, this video specifically is going to be talking a lot about mental issues, really sensitive topics. It's not that death isn't a sensitive topic, but just if you have any triggers for depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, just be forewarned, because that's what this video is about. Woo! Also a forewarning that I'm probably gonna curse a couple of times. The song that I'm singing does have a couple curse words in it, so that's just an FYI. Today we're gonna be talking about my high school experience. And I know very few people like high school, but ooh, mine's a good one. Mine's a great story. So starting off, I graduated 2 years ago, almost, and I went to a private, all-girls Moravian high school in North Carolina. I'm not gonna say the name because I don't want any ties with this school whatsoever, now or ever in my future. But that's enough of a description where you can look it up if you wanna see it. So as you know, I was homeschooled up until I went to high school. Whenever I was, I think 12, I went to high school early. So I actually was a freshman at 13 or 14, I think. And I made the decision that I wanted to go to high school, not be homeschooled. It's actually a high school / college. So a lot of my tutors, the student tutors that I was talking about in my Miss Grubbs video, were from that college. So I decided, hey, I love the college. I'm gonna apply for the high school program. So I did, and I got in, woo! And freshman year was great. I was the weird kid, but I didn't really care. I was very shy, but because I was a homeschooler, I kind of had the mentality that everybody was my friend, especially in that first year. Like, why would anyone dislike someone? We haven't even known each other for that long, you know? So that was the mentality that I had going into it, and that was my mistake. But again, I didn't know any better. Freshman year was great. I made honor roll. I liked most of my teachers. I had a couple problems, but I was just out of homeschooling. Of course, I'm gonna have a couple problems, and it's high school, whatever. So then sophomore year hit. Sophomore year, for the first, I'd say 3 months, were really great. I moved up on the tennis team. I had a solid group of friends. I was doing decent in my grades. I wasn't the best, but whatever. And then about halfway through, I found out that the people that I considered to be my best friends were talking mad shit behind my back and spreading rumors and just being really ugly people. I distanced myself from them. And then sophomore year also, the bullying just ramped up. And I'm not talking about like typical high school shit where, you know, they're shoving you against lockers and blah, 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 and all the stuff that you see in the movies. I'm talking about Mean Girls type shit. Mental warfare and emotional abuse out the ass. So I was really happy to be done with sophomore year, and I was gonna be a junior next year. So I was gonna be like an upperclassman. I thought all my problems were just gonna go away and disappear and blah, 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 because the bullying was like really, really bad. And I think that year was the first time I really considered suicide. There's like 4 distinct points in my high school career where it was extremely close. Like really close to me not being here. And there are several times, it was more than 4 times. I remember 4 times being really close. I think it was midway through the second semester of sophomore year. That time, I actually reached out and talked to a friend, and she was friends with a guidance counselor. And so I remember being called into the guidance counselor's office, and I was terrified because a policy of that school was that if you hurt yourself or if you did try to commit suicide, you would be punished. One girl was expelled for trying to commit suicide. I remember the girls who would self-harm would have to cover everything up because if they didn't, they'd be confronted, spoke to like they're meaningless. But that's beside the point. I was terrified to go into her office, which is not something you should be. You shouldn't be terrified of therapy or guidance counselors unless they don't do their job. And I was terrified of it. And so I went in and I denied everything because I knew if I didn't deny it, that I'd be in trouble. Junior year was definitely one of my worst years. I was making all like D's and C's in my classes because I was so depressed that I didn't feel like putting in any effort, doing anything. I remember I would literally just sit in my bed the moment I got home, and all weekend, and I would do my homework at like 4 o'clock in the morning because I was so depressed that I couldn't go to sleep. And then on the weekends I'd do nothing but sleep. Literally nothing but sleep. I would realize that if I didn't get my homework done, I had such fear of authority because the hierarchy of administration and presidents and teachers at that school was really disgusting. And they also played a big part in my depression and anxiety especially, because they would also employ high school bullying techniques of emotional warfare and constantly made me feel lesser than. And also money played a big factor. I had scholarships and financial aid out my ass. Probably 80% of the girls in that school had mansions, or like McMansions. So if you had money, then the teachers would grade you differently and the administration would treat you differently, and you would get the leads in the play. Not only did I have to work my ass off just to survive, but I also had to work my ass off if I wanted to have more than 3 lines in a play. So I would have a lot of anxiety about just doing homework. I wouldn't want to do homework because there was such bad memories and bad energy around my homework that I would put it off until the last minute. And I remember several times, I can't even count how many times I did my homework at 4 o'clock in the morning just to get up at 6 and be there. Like, I'd start at 4 and I'd end by like 5:30 or 6, and then I wake up at 6:30. And this school didn't have a late policy. If you were late, you weren't allowed in class. And they had a 3 absence policy. You could only be absent 3 times before your grade starts going down exponentially. And like I said, money played into that too. So junior year, I really considered dying by suicide twice. And I remember both times what was happening, how just absolutely hopeless I felt, and I felt like I couldn't do anything right. And I was really working for my grades, and the teachers weren't working with me. And the school would just punish me and punish me and punish me and punish me for having depression, basically. So then it was the end of junior year. Senior year is when I started to really truly not care, because I couldn't anymore. I didn't care what the girls thought of me. I didn't care what the teachers thought of me. I didn't care about my grades. I didn't care about showing up on time. And I was really hostile to people. And I'm really not proud of that, because I became one of the bullies out of self-preservation. And I wasn't as bad as the other girls. I can say that about myself. But my best friend and I would talk so much shit behind other people's back and then be incredibly two-faced to them. And then sometimes I would let it out and I would just flat out insult people. And that was a big thing in the school, being two-faced. The reason that my freshman year was so good is because I didn't realize how many people were being and could be two-faced. Senior year actually wasn't the worst thing. I had a group of teachers that I really looked up to, and it was weird. The other teachers who didn't like me and who knew that I didn't pay full price would attack my relationship with those teachers. So there were several instances where the teachers would spread rumors to my favorite teachers about me. But I graduated. Don't get me wrong, there were good things. I met several amazing teachers, and I made connections with my singing teacher, and I love her kids so much. And the song that I'm singing today actually didn't exist whenever I was in high school. It didn't help me get through it, but it wraps up a lot of how I feel about high school. Remember how I mentioned Mean Girls earlier? The song that I'm gonna be singing today is I'd Rather Be Me from Mean Girls. The lyrics are down there, so just FYI, I'm probably gonna be glancing down there a lot. Let's see if I can sing this. We're supposed to all be ladies and be nurturing and care. Is that really fair? Boys get to fight, we have to share. Here's the way that turns out. We always understand how to slap someone down with our underhand. So here's my right finger to how girls should behave. 'Cause sometimes what's meant to break you makes you brave. So I will not act all innocent, I won't fake apologize. Let's just fight and then make up, not tell these lies. Let's call our damage even, clean the slate till it's like new. 'Cause I'd rather be me, I'd rather be me, I'd rather be me than be with you. you. I don't need their good opinions. I have plenty of opinions. Everybody has opinions, but it doesn't make them true. What's true is being me. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you. So raise them high, cause playing nice and shy is insulting my IQ. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you. That was tough. I hope you liked it. Actually, no. I hope that you didn't relate to any of this, because I don't wish that on anyone. I hope that you had a fantastic high school career, and I hope that you experienced no bullying, and I hope that you were not the bully, because that shit sucks. But if you are going through something like this, or you have been through something like what I just said, and you do need help, I will leave links in the description below. And it's okay that you're feeling these things, but please know that no matter how bad it seems, you'll get through it. And you'll live a better life after it. And you can be successful no matter if your teachers don't like you, if you don't have good grades, if your friends are bullying you, or if you feel like you don't want to be here anymore. I want you here. So, it'll all be okay. Don't be a bully. You can get through it. And I love you.